Our lawmakers are working around the clock, particularly in Washington, and for the most part, they're working together, something we haven't seen that often in the past few years. But from getting paychecks to helping small businesses to how D.C. is dealing with the outbreak, Senator Thom Tillis spoke with us at length about all of that this afternoon. Now, we normally would have done this as a two-shot conversation via satellite. However, due to safety precautions, we're taking with our crew members and photojournalists here at WRAL. We had to do this a bit differently. Here's the conversation.
All right, let's talk about the stimulus package. When will we see the immediate impact of this?
Well, the hope is to see it very quickly. That's why we're trying to figure out ways to get direct assistance to people who may be furloughed or out of work because they have to take care of their children or a loved one who may be ill. So the expectation now is to stay here through the weekend as long as it takes to get a bill passed out so that it can be implemented in early April.
And what have we seen come out so far, Senator?
Well, this afternoon, we'll be seeing a baseline bill that focuses on tax payments, relief to small businesses who are rightfully concerned with the bill we passed out yesterday in terms of providing. The first thing was to provide a sense of comfort and support for individuals. Now what we're doing is passing a measure that will give the businesses the time that they need to manage cash flow and make sure that as we win our battle against the virus, that those jobs will be available to those who want to come back to work. And so many of them want to be at work.
Someone stopped me on the street today and said, when will I see my check?
The goal right now is to get that out the first week of April.
First week of April. And the amount on that check will be?
It's ranging. It's going to be means tested so that we'll have those at very low income. They will get a certain amount, a base amount, and then it will move up to a cap that would probably be somewhere in the range of $75,000, and then graduate it downward after that up to probably something around $95,000 for a household.
Senator, we've had at least two reports of members of the House testing positive. What are you doing in the Senate, in your office, to keep your distance?
Well, first off, we implemented a workplace policy very similar to what many businesses do that can allow for a mobile workforce. Half of my staff are working from home and will be in that capacity for 14 days, and then we will swap out and have the staff that's here in the office, where I was just answering some phone calls myself in the front office. I have staff answering phone calls and working on the legislative matters that we have. And I have a number of staff who are reaching out to state agencies back in North Carolina, working with agencies up here at the federal level to try and just make sure that we're continuing to operate. And I think in some respects, I have to thank my staff because they're working a lot longer days, and they'll work 7 days a week as necessary to make sure we're providing the constituent service we need. We're also getting a lot of constituent requests, people who are traveling abroad who are trying to get back into the country, and we've opened up several dozen cases trying to help people safely transit back into the United States.
How do they get home? You know, I was supposed to have been in Israel 2 weeks ago, and had I gone, I would have been quarantined. And I thought last night, how in the world would I have gotten home?
Well, David, you'd probably call my office or Senator Burr's or your congressional member, and we'd open up a case. We contact the State Department. We work with the consulate in the country that you happen to find yourself in. But you raise a very, very important point. We're processing passport requests in our office even this week, but we're trying to caution anyone who has the option of staying in the United States to please do so. Let us be able to focus on the health of the nation, the work that we're trying to do here. If you can avoid travel for the next several weeks, please do so.
Senator, one last thing. We have seen again this week, we saw it particularly with the Small Business Administration approving the request from North Carolina for the emergency declaration. When the government needs to act and wants to act, it can find a way to act.
Well, that's exactly right. And I should have started by saying I appreciate the work that Governor Cooper is doing. You know, we're learning as we go. I don't think that anyone at the federal or state or local level should be criticized for changing a policy the day after tomorrow, because we're learning about this and we're trying to fight this virus on every field of play. And that requires a lot of patience, but it also requires a lot of cooperation from the general public. And I should also say, David, we need to encourage anyone who thinks they're ill, please do not go to an urgent care facility or to a hospital. Call your doctor or call your local health department and let them advise you on the safest way first to determine whether or not you have the virus or maybe you have a flu. But then the safest way to be tested to prevent you from exposing yourself or exposing others. We also need to make sure that healthy people who can go to work do. We need food. We need transportation. We need healthcare workers showing up and trying to do the best that they can, not to get the virus, but the best thing that we can do in North Carolina is to make sure that grocery stores are open. Buy what you need. Don't buy what you don't buy 3 months supplies. Make sure that it's available for your neighbors and seniors and at-risk populations, so that together we'll win this. It's a matter of the length of time, and through cooperation and understanding that everyone has a role to play. Government does, but every single person who can chip in and help their neighbor, now's the time to do it.
Senator, when's the last time you saw the president?
I spoke with him last night. He and I have probably not seen each other for about a week. It was a week ago on either Tuesday or Wednesday, but I spoke with him last night about some very important matters that we're hearing from businesses, particularly small businesses, restaurants, hotels. And I tell you, as busy as he is, I called him, and within about 45 minutes, I got a call back. And I know that he's contacting other members. He's taking all ideas and trying to put them on the table. All options are on the table.
Senator Thom Tillis, we are so appreciative of your time. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, David.